Let's go to the other candidates. And in NCR, the leading candidate with a 6-point gain from the previous election is Senator Bongbong Marcos. Is that significant, the 6-point jump?
It's not so much the 6-point jump as the fact that he is solo leading now in NCR. He used to share it with Senator Escudero. Now he's solo lead. And given that it's NCR, a lot of people are surprised.
Bakit nga ba? Bakit kaya?
It's, as Dr. Teehankee has explained, there's nostalgia for order. I think NCR is really grappling with criminality. And
traffic,
there's a tendency to romanticize the past, to blur the difficulties, and just remember the good points.
And one thing that we should remember, what Bongbong Marcos is doing in terms of political marketing is that he is emulating the democratic Marcos of 1965, the more charismatic, modernist president, rather than the Marcos of 1986, the fallen dictator. So I think that's resonating with the ABC voters.
Because dahil sa haba ng Marcos regime, there are different narratives at certain points of the
I
period.
Think, Dr. Tabunda would also say that it is not the youth. It is not the millennials who's actually supporting Marcos, but rather it is the 50 and up. It's our generation.
Sila yung nabuhay nung early part of the Marcos.
It's the martial law generation, actually.
Is that surprising that Bongbong is leading in NCR?
No, not really, because NCR has always been opposition country.
Okay. So bumalik na siya sa pagiging, kasi di ba dati NCR, Aquino, anti-Marcos.
That's right.
So umikot na at naging sila na yung
basta anti-administration normally ang NCR, no? Kasi lahat ng information nandito, no? So you have more engaged people in NCR. But you know, Linda, this can go either way, no? It's a double-edged sword. Kasi to me, if I'm one of the strategies of Senator Bongbong, no? I wouldn't play up so much, no, the tie of the legacy of his father, no? Kasi siyempre ano yan
it's a double-edged sword
narrative, no? Well, hindi natin ina-expect that he's going to say sorry or apologize for his father, but not to the point of saying that it was really just glory days, no, during the time of martial law. So, you know, the millennials are really the deciding factor here, no? I mean, so many studies have already suggested that. Siyempre wala silang natatandaan and we can't blame them, no? It's wrong to blame them in the first place kasi di pa sila buhay noon eh. So I don't really see any reason why we should blame them. But on the other hand, they can also be convinced you know, that there is an alternative to whatever choice that they already have, no? And probably reconsider the so-called renewed interest as far as what happened in martial law, whether it's good or bad.
When you say millennials, what age bracket are we talking about?
Well, ang definition nila dyan, up to 35 years old. No? So those who didn't really see what happened during the time of martial law.
Yan yung, in the United Nations definition, yan yung youth. Actually, ang youth, sa hanggang 35,
But if there's
36.
one thing also that we have to consider is that the youth vote is one of the holy grails in Philippine election. I mean, ever since 1992, they're the most numerous, but at the same time, they're the most apathetic. They don't usually vote unless political groups, individuals and parties organize them. But they're the most apathetic among the voters. So they have never voted as a bloc for any candidates.
Well, let's just say that Senator Marcos really made the most out of the Bangsamoro Basic Law, no?
Also,
I mean, 1 year, even before the election period, no, or the start of the discussions on national election, it's been going around on the basis of wanting to hear from the public what they have to say about the Bangsamoro Basic Law. And he was really able to navigate, no, the difficult waters, basically, in the sense that even in Mindanao, even in the ARMM, no, medyo divided when it comes to what was accomplished and what was not accomplished by this administration, by the peace process. No? So, ang result is it's both popular. No? I mean, it's popular on both sides of the coin as far as Bangsamoro Basic Law is concerned. So, nakilala siya not only as a young Marcos, but as a very competent young Marcos at that. At that time, wala, silent on the part of Senator Cheese. The only time that we've heard so much about him was when he got married. No? But that's about it. No? Tapos, ganun. Halos every day, kita mo siya sa dyaryo, no? Apart from the advertisements, but basically silent, no? From Senator Cheese.
And then Balance Luzon, Bongbong Marcos is leading. Effect ba ito ng Solid North? Is the North as solid as they project it to be insofar as preference for Senator Marcos is concerned?
It is.
It is.
It
Okay.
is. It's just that it's small. That's all.
Hindi masyadong, and of course you have the Southern
Basta
Luzon to
Ilocano, he
contend.
has it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talagang may mapagmamalaki nila yung Solid North. Let's go to Visayas. Lenny
Lenny
Robredo
Robredo.
is leading. Is this a Mar Rojas effect?
Yes.
Oo.
Yes.
Because she's a total unknown
In Visayas.
In Visayas, ano. There's a 4-point jump by Cheese Escudero, and there's a 5-point drop by Bongbong Marcos. Is that
In Visayas.
again?
But, Senator Marcos isn't strong really in Visayas and Mindanao, which is why he's not getting a lot higher than the 25%, because he still has to contend with Senator Escudero in NCR and Balance Luzon. In the meantime, Visayas and Mindanao, like the way the presidency is going to the two others.
Right. I think that's also the opposite effect of his opposition to BBL. So, he might have scored some points down the line, but he also lost a lot. So, you have that.
Just very quickly, I want to go through this because, again, this is also surprising. Class ABC, the one leading is Senator Marcos. So, bakit ganon? Let me ask the analyst.
Again, it's fatigue with the EDSA narrative.
Yeah.
After 30 years, we haven't reached the promised land. It's actually, well, it's not a fault of any particular political actor, but it's really a collective failure to consolidate the gains of democracy. So, as a people, as an electorate, how we deal with this question of democratic consolidation is very important, because now we are seeing some form of backsliding, and some people are enamored with the return of some form of authoritarianism. So I think that's the main issue here. It's a fatigue of the EDSA narrative.
Okay.
Well, consistent with that, I have two possible reasons. One, let's look at the negative politics. No? I mean, starting with, let's say, for example, Senator Cayetano. No? They started hitting VP Binay. No? While it affected the VP Binay's numbers, it never really got them anywhere. No?
Also,
So now here we go back to Pinoy, no? Who's back to his old self, no? Attacking practically everyone and passing the blame to practically anyone other than whoever's working with him. No? So I'm not going to be that diplomatic in the sense that, whoever had the real chance of, exacting or starting real reforms, we could have had it at this administration. Unprecedented political capital, Linda. No? You could have pushed for so many divisive reforms. Yung Political Party Development Act lang, hindi na pumasa sa Senado, pumasa sa House. No? It's so disappointing for many who've been pushing for all these reforms.
Okay.
In fact, a good number of them are even with the administration, but we didn't hear from them. So it's really frustrating.
Okay.